Well, you got to give a big shout out to Faith Beyond last game. I mean, considering the start he had, to come back that hard. I mean, he had an Oct Green Core at the end. I mean, the things he was doing with that Tidehunter was unbelievable. EHOME, however,
Yeah,
they yes.
he was definitely on point, especially with the blink ravages. He knew that he'd always just have to be right next to that storm, and every single time they managed to get that control up. EHOME picking up that Medusa is a strange choice to me. Like again, the OD is already there in Sirius' side. Sure, in the laning phase, the Medusa might be able to get away with it, like really get that runaway start. But the OD, as the game goes on, should be able to eat through that mana shield quite fast.
I agree with you on that one. I don't know what the plan is here from EHOME, but perhaps still just feeling confident with that Medusa. I mean, the thing is, it's still not as easy as it sounds, though, when you get into that late game, because Medusa does just tend to throw Stone Gaze out, and then you can't just sit there right-clicking as the OD, but there are ways around it, right? You can pick up a Hurricane Pike, that can make it a lot easier. Just hit him from a distance. You can always just Astral the Medusa while she's Stone Gazing and just kind of ignore her the whole time. Of course, you do have the double Doom as well with the Grim Stroke, so you can just get the Doom off onto the Medusa. And oh no!
Ah, what the
Not
hell is
this.
this?
Not this. Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, get your pillows
Man.
out. Go make yourself a hot cup of milk or something. Get a blanket. This is not the game number 2 we wanted to see, John. This is not the game 2 we wanted.
All right. How long do you think this game will last, Mike? 40 minutes, 50 minutes, or 60 minutes?
I'm going to go ahead and predict. We may as well predict a time. I would say
10 seconds remaining.
probably around that 50-minute mark, I would say.
5 seconds remaining.
I think that's a fair choice. Like, you have the Medusa on EHOM's side, you have the Naga Siren on Sirius' side. Apparently, we're just back to farming. So,
I mean,
it's going to be that sort of game.
and that's the thing, right? It's not a matter of how long the game's lasting. It's just the fact that we know exactly what they're going to be doing the whole time is just farming up. In Sirius, they do finish off with the Centaur War Runner, but that just kind of means they have another way to disengage with the Stampede. Just get the hell out of there. EHOME, what do you pick up as your last pick, I wonder, for this mid-core? I mean, not even mid-core. Medusa will be mid. I mean, off-lane, I suppose, for Faith Beyond.
5 seconds remaining.
It's
Just pick
It's
an
kind of
Arc Warden or something. Just make it even worse. Pick a Tinker.
Mike, I'm wondering who actually has the better late game, right? Because OD does great in the late game as well, and they go with that Pangolier, so looks like they do have a bit more early aggression from EHOME in their lineup. But again, how early can you go when you have the Medusa? Sure, they have a Raid King as well, so I guess there is some pressure to get that work done early game. But all these heroes really scale into the late game quite okay as well.
We'll have plenty of time to talk about it in the game, I'm sure, John. Have multiple chances to discuss how many different outcomes there could be between these two teams. Overall, which draft came out better in your opinion?
I'm still gonna stick to Sirius, right? The OD has a lot of value here, and you have that double doom from the Grimstroke as well. But EHOME, they have a really great way of taking these team fights. Of course, the Winter Wyvern is going to be massive if they can land that Winter's Curse properly. Issue is, are you going to try to aim for the Naga Siren every time? I don't think you can afford to. The very least you could do is make sure Naga is caught inside that Winter's Curse, but she can't be your primary target because of the illusion spam. So you're going to have to go for maybe that OD, going to be a high value target, or even the Doom or Grimstroke. If you take one of those two out, the double Doom isn't there, and you can really take those fights afterwards. But overall, I still feel like Sirius has the better draft. Again, they pick that OD really early on, and then EHOME picks up the Medusa into that OD.
It's just very upsetting to watch, John. It really is. Nevertheless, who knows, John? They might make it, this might be an absolute bloodbath for all we know. we'll see. The good luck have funds coming out from both, well, just from EHOME at the moment. Sirius not saying a word. Bit of a lag going on here. Are you experiencing lag?
Nope.
Yeah, it might be my turn.
Your turn. Oh, that's a good start for us, Mike. In fact, I do see you lagging in the minimap. I actually saw that. Oh.
That's annoying. Not my internet though, John. Everything seems to be going perfectly fine on that end. It looks like it's just a connection between Australia and the Chinese server, which I mean, it does happen occasionally, unfortunately. Have no power over that.
30 seconds.
So I guess if there was any game to lag in, this would probably be the one.
I mean, look, EHOME can kind of play aggressive early with that rating. We saw it from Sirius the last game. But this time around, they have the insurance of Medusa if they have to go late game. So they are kind of trying to have their cake and eat it too, by having both the early game secured and that late game scaling. So it does feel like they are just kind of ensuring that they will have answers at every point in the game.
Oh, this lag is going to be unbearable. Faith Beyond.
Oh,
we'll go ahead
I think
and
I'm
claim
lagging up too.
Yeah, it is the server. I don't know if disconnecting is really going to help, to be honest with you. So
No.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
yeah, it's not going to make a difference. Yeah. We'll just have to wait it out. Hopefully it just fixes itself, but as it stands right now, it's going to be rather unstable. We're going to have some real slow play-by-play action going on with this kind of lag, unless it does dissipate.
No, it is that mid lane matchup between the Medusa and the OD, and again, earlier on, it looks okay for the OD, but depending on how well 430 can throw that Mystic Snake out, it actually gets really hard. We've seen this before, where the Medusa actually wins out that mid lane with the Mystic Snake spam. I think you're going to have to wait till maybe level 3 until that comes online to its fullest potential, but by the time you hit that point, you do tend to take over.
John, are you lagging as bad as I am right now? Like, it is pretty bad.
No, I don't think I'm that bad. I am dropping like 3 packets every time, which is not great, but better than a while ago when I was just at constant 80% loss.
Alright, well, I'm going to try... Oh, okay. Maybe they're having the same problem. I'm going to try reconnecting. Give me 1 sec, guys. Don't panic. I'm still here. I'm just going to try and disconnect. Try and reconnect and see if that does end up making a difference. God forbid I can't reconnect, John. That'd be a real headache.
No, no. See, this is what will happen. You'll reconnect, but it will be... Like, for me a while ago, it took me a while to reconnect. They are ready to go. So, don't worry, you're not going to be missing out on too much. If you need, I will try to vividly describe stuff for you, but hopefully that's not necessary.
Surprisingly enough, it has stopped lagging.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's good.
For now. I mean, these problems tend to keep going. But anyway, bot lane, they are going to roll in onto the Centaur and Flame. Though he does have Firefly with him with the Inkswell and won't connect with the Inkswell, but it looks like Inflame will end up being okay in the end. Why, actually copying a fair bit of damage though. Firefly does not have the level 2 Stroke of Fate yet. Actually, they're going to roll again. Sin Q with the roll. No follow-up though. This bot lane does appear to be very aggressive from both ends.
It does seem that way. Like, again, they are committing a lot of resources. It's a tri-lane on tri-lane again.
Uh-oh.
And this is probably... Ooh.
It's a hasted Doom coming through. Going after Y, though he doesn't have anything to throw out, though. He does have the Shockwave, but that's really it. So you're seeing all these heroes running at each other, but no real kill potential until they hit those level 2 marks.
This is rather interesting for me. I believe that is Chan Ming, right? On the Doom, and that's not a hero we have seen him play before, even in the past year. I don't think we've ever seen him play that Qualifier Doom.
They are rolling in again, they'll never end. Gonna be in a bit of trouble now, because there is a chase going on. In fact, no, they'll go after Y. Inkswell will be there as well, and that should be a first blood. Going to the wave in Flame, but they will find a trade on the Doom, or will they? Sin Q, he'll turn around and get the final right click necessary. never end. I mean, he kind of just turned around and stopped hitting the Centaur for some reason, but or the Doom, I should say. But nevertheless, they do get the kill in the end.
Yeah, a bit strange there. I felt like Never End should have had damage, but he kind of hesitated and simply takes it for himself. Again, a bloodbath here in the bot lane, mainly because it is a tri-lane on tri-lane. Overall, I think this actually benefits Sirius a bit more, because the Doom, despite him really soaking that, soaking up that EXP and kind of slowing it down a bit, he can just jump into the jungle and kind of eat creep and gain his EXP that way every single time as well.
Sirius looking to get more aggressive. They are diving underneath the tier 1 tower now, it seems. The Flame will kind of pop out, though there will be a stun coming up from Never End immediately. Now they are going to dive through the tree line. Sin-Q with the Boulder Smash as well. Now Stroke of Fates, though, coming out from Firefly. Never End, who's he aiming for? Looks like he might go for the Grimstroke, but Inkswell will be there and Never End loses his life. Now they'll get Sin-Q as well. Firefly will go down, though. But still, Sirius definitely going to be happier with their trade.
Yeah, they're really slowing down this Raid King's farm. His early game progression as well is going to take a massive hit. Looks like he did want to go for that fast Midas to really cope up with that late to mid game, but it's not going to come out fast enough.
Flame still being chased down, but they will give up on that. Of course, his supports are back in the lane to help out. Meanwhile, we probably should look at the other lanes quickly. ASD and 430 in the mid lane. Pretty much just trading farm as to be expected, though. ASD is relatively far ahead by about 10 last hits right now. 430 actually opting to go for the split shot early on, and perhaps the Mystic Snake spam not working out as intended so far, though Sin-Q will rotate over to try and help out. Perhaps even get a kill onto ASD if he can. Just going to place a ward for the moment. He's going to roll in, though he does miss the roll, and that should just mean ASD walks out of there safely.
Yeah, and he cops a lot of damage with that Tempest Wall, though.
They're going in again. ASD, they're still going to be fine. He does have the roll available, but he won't go for it to cancel off the salve. They do have the Doom there as well in the mid lane now to rotate over if necessary, and it looks like he will. Trying to make a play on 430, though ASD needs to hit the Astral first, and he does. That I don't really know if they're going to have enough damage, but they may. 430 already out of mana, though he will stick charge up. They will have Faith Beyond rotate in and will find a kill on the Doom. So Sirius do get punished for that attempt on the Medusa.
Yeah, that's a nice rotation coming out from EHOME. Faith Beyond just managing to clean up that kill and really save his Medusa's life. Now, 430 has not had a great time down mid. He has been keeping up okay, but it's time for him to hit that jungle. And we're not seeing that pressure from Sirius to shut this jungle out.
Very close call there while you were speaking, John. The Inflamed Centaur almost going down, barely getting out. Slither of HP.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Things will just slightly slow down. Look up to that top lane, the Naga Siren having a great old time. Sylar just basically free farming with 47 last hits and 14 denies. Faith has not been able to do anything really to shut down Sylar, and that's kind of to be expected. It's almost like EHOME just don't care about the Naga. They just kind of let her just farm up.
I think that's fine. Again, we have seen the core Naga at work in a lot of games, and it really just takes a while to come online. Even if you give it this early space, it doesn't really accelerate any faster than it normally does. So it's really just okay to kind of ignore it. The best thing is to shut down all the other heroes from Sirius' side, and the one thing they really have been keeping watch on is that mid and bot lane.
Okay, now there's 4 heroes down from Sirius at the bot lane. Looks like ASD actually going to make a very early rotation on the OD. Does get scouted out by the Observer Ward there from the Radiant side. Faith Beyond was sticking around. They have completely given up on Sala though. They have just left that top lane. It looks like they are going to focus more on trying to take down ASD. Rolling Thunder will come out, and Faith is going to go for the chase. He does have the Earth Spirit behind him as well, though they can't really connect yet. ASD actually a nice juke around and tips Faith beyond. How dare he?
I mean, that was some great juking coming out from ASD, but
Sylar just goes and claims the T1 tower. The mid lane, 430 in trouble again. Wyatt will rotate over on the Winter Wyvern. Now the roll in, though SinQ will miss with the roll, and they should still be able to find this kill though. Mystic Snake does do a fair bit of damage, but they need one more right click on him, and in fact, no, the silence was not enough. And with that, the Doom is out, and ASD is in. Wyatt in a lot of trouble right now, and he's going to go down here to ASD. The Arcane Orb's just doing way too much damage. Meanwhile, Never End coming in to try and find the Doom kill, though he tries to make a TP. Infernal Blade will be there, and that is not great news. They're going to lose this Wraith King early on. But he does find the kill, and, well, he does end up dying in the end. Still does get the kill on the Doom.
yeah, that's a decent trade. At the very least, he gets that kill. But, you know, he just turned 6 there. It didn't look like he had mana anyway for that reincarnation. Had 148 when he died, cost 160 to have it online. So, even if he managed to get that skill point in, wouldn't have really bought him anything.
Let's say hello to Sylar. Does manage to pick up the banner in off Sylar though. Now the song will be committed, just to ensure Sylar can walk out of there safely on the Naga Siren. Faith considering chasing. In fact, he will with the Rolling Thunder once again, but the Stampede was committed, just to ensure Sylar can get out safely, and he will do so.
Yeah, and it looks like, again, a bit of a waste on that Rolling Thunder, not really securing anything, but he forced out the song from the Naga. That is a bit of a longer cooldown on Sylar, so it's a bit more of an opening. It's not like, you know, we have seen EHOME really pump up that aggression. I don't think they're gonna do anything about that opening, so pretty much just back to farming for both sides.
Sylar looks like he will be going for that Diffusal Blade build, as you generally do see on the Naga Sirens, of course. Does work very well up against the Wraith King as well. Will be very useful up against Never End throughout that mid game. Speaking of Never End, he's going for a Midas build on the Wraith King.
Yeah, I pointed it out earlier on, and it just means we're not going to see that aggression. And again, it looks like EHOME is trying to set up for a later part of the game with the draft they have, which is fair enough, but I feel like the Wraith King really shines in that mid game as long as you itemize properly. The Midas just kind of makes sure that you really won't be. You're just going to be trying to find that farm, trying to find that EXP, and holding out until a later part to be online.
Smoke now. Faith Beyond actually breaking his own smoke. Like White rotating in the mid lane. ASD will kind of pop up for a second though. He's got his own Midas on the OD. Winter's Curse will come out to set up, but there's no follow-up quite yet. Faith will throw out the Rolling Thunder, but again the Stampede will come out immediately. And Faith will give up on the race. ASD going to be perfectly fine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Never End up top.
Gonna end up losing one life to Sylar. Probably will end up losing a secondary though. Sylar gonna back off. Winter Wyvern does join in, and now Faith Biana as well with the swashbuckle. Never End. He will find the stun, and this should mean Sylar's death, and it does. He didn't have the song available at the time to throw out, but this does buy time for his team to go after that tier 1 mid tower. That is exactly what they do. This will be the final tier 1 tower on the side of EHOME if they do find it. They'll get it with really no problem on the side of Sirius though. SinQ rolls in. He can't afford to miss those rolls though.
Tower is under attack.
Won't find anybody. So the magnetized Faith Beyond will be able to grab him with the swashbuckle, but now you've got that Soulbind coming out with the double doom as well. 430 forced to commit the Stone Gaze to make sure Firefly cannot continue the chase, and they will find him. They will even keep Faith Beyond alive. Meanwhile, 430 apparently finding ASD, who was still moving in with that Sanity's Eclipse. But Sirius giving a lot away in that team fight.
They definitely do. It looks like it was a good engagement for Sirius at first as well. They get that double doom off, but they don't follow up, and when they do, it's just a bit too late. Like, the OD doesn't manage to get that work done, and I suppose it still is kind of early for the OD to deal that massive damage. So he's not quite online yet. You don't have max levels in the orb. You don't have max levels in your equilibrium, so you're not going to be able to sustain your spam and attacks. So it was a bit early for Sirius. Again, both teams kind of just trading back and forth in this early game. It does look like EHOME is getting a bit more, 8-5, but this net worth lead is still on Sirius, of course, mainly down to that Naga Siren.
An 8-5 now, almost 14 or 15 minutes in, but there is a slight net worth lead for the side of Sirius. Again, that is to kind of be expected though, because the Silent just farming so well in that Naga Siren. We've got to give it to the Medusa though, on the side of EHOME, 430. Doing a pretty darn good job as well, keeping up with that free farm Siler. He's actually going to be able to overtake pretty soon as well by the looks of it.
Yeah, and again, it's just the power of Naga farming is actually really strong. She can farm multiple stacks at once, and with that Riptide again, just clear them all out really quickly. So the farm is escalating for Sylar, but I don't think the Medusa is doing too bad. She just doesn't have that sort of mass farming potential. She can clear out the camps quite fast. She doesn't really have the mobility to go as fast.
For EHOME, they do go ahead and clear out a tier 1 tower up at the top lane. 430 does finish off the Diffusal Blade. There is a blink now on Faith Beyond as well. Blink Dagger coming out on Neverend now, so he got the Midas, but he does go straight into that aggressive mobility item in the blink. We'll see what kind of plays he can make with this, though. There is a smoke coming out of Sirius now.
Dire are scanning.
Why? Actually pops a smoke of his own, but it's broken immediately, and it looks like mid lane. They do make a jump onto ASD, though Sylar finding Y up the top lane. Now they are going to go after Faith Beyond, as Sanity's has been committed. We'll find the kill onto that Pangolier. Immediately Sirius, they want to try and make a push attempt with this, it seems. There aren't any tier 1s available though, so I imagine they'll probably go back to farming a bit.
Yeah, and it's just this kind of pace you can expect from this game, although they still have the double doom available on Sirius' side, so they don't really pull back immediately.
Event? Blink out immediately. Did get purged up by the Diffusal, but it won't matter. Sirius. We end up finding Y on top of the cliff, and now the Silence will come out from the Grimstroke. Should be a very easy kill. Sylar, he has the ensnare though. Faith Beyond, gonna make it a bit frustrating. He will go in with the Rolling Thunder now. Does connect onto the Grimstroke, and it looks like Never End tries to go for the kill, but there's the song coming out from Sylar. They do still find the Boulder Smash though. Sin Q, he snipes him from a distance, and now they found the Doom as well. Nowhere really for him to go. They will stun him up, Never End, with that blink, and they will be able to find another kill. Sirius, it goes back to this whole thing with the Naga, right? You never really want to fight head on. You kind of just want to get a pick off and then just try to take a tower. Anytime it's going to be a 5v5 though, you're probably going to see that Song and Stampede being committed just to be able to get out.
Yeah, it's really down to just, again, how the drafts play out, as you mentioned. Also the fact that the Santi's Eclipse wasn't up, and they didn't manage to get that Soulbind Doom combination out. So Sirius really couldn't afford to take that team fight there. EHOME, on the other hand, pretty happy with that exchange, of course. They do manage to get a bit more in those trades, and again, they are getting their own farm game going. They have overtaken Siler as well on that Medusa, so a good start for 430 once again, and should be looking to really match up. Although, again, it doesn't take too long for Nagasaran to really escalate their farm even after dying. Doesn't take much.
Certainly doesn't. Still, the Medusa doing a better job of it right now, 430. Gonna have an Eye of Skadi up pretty soon. Already has one ultimate orb in the stash. The bot lane, looks like there might be a bit of a roll. In fact, they have found Neverend, but a nice Winter's Curse coming out from Y. They're going to be able to take down the Centaur almost. In fact, no, they won't, though. Neverend still being chased down with the Stampede. Y copying a lot of damage there by ASD. Inkswell will be there, and they will find the first life. 430, though, coming in with that Stone Gaze. Y somehow still alive throughout all this, and now the Soulbind comes out as well. EHOME, though, don't really mind whatsoever. Sirius is falling apart in this engagement. They're going after Y, still on the Winter Wyvern. They will find Firefly on the Grimstroke, and now they found the Centaur as well. Spirit Vessel being placed on top of him. The stun is there, and Sirius will lose another 3 for their troubles.
Yeah, and they now really hand that network lead all the way to EHOME. And that aggression is really not paying off. The Soulbind was thrown out, the Doom was not. They don't manage to secure that kill on Y, and they don't show respect to the Winter Wyvern. That Winter's Curse came out.
Sala gets jumped on John, he has the song. Roll in though, they're trying to find him. Swashbuckle, roll in was way too early. That'll cost them a Naga Siren kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Why? Gonna get caught out by ASD down to the bot rune spot.
Dire's middle tower.
Should end up dying though, does commit the Winter's Curse just to ensure he gets away. Though it looks like ASD is not going to give up. He has a Blink Dagger available. And I imagine Y is still dead. Oh my.
Ooh.
Late reaction there by ASD. He does not get the Astral Imprisonment off.
Yeah, really unfortunate. I mean, that would have been a nice kill to get, but once again, EHOME, they have widened their lead now to 3k net worth, and I don't believe they are going to be playing any more faster than they have been, though. They're just going to use this time to farm up once more. Looks like we will see a Radiance coming out from Neverend, so this is the Raid King build if you are going a bit later, and he does have... He's not too far from it, maybe about 2k gold away at most, so gonna have that at pretty decent stage, probably before 25 minutes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Was the smoke there from Sirius?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Spot out the Wraith King, though never end.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's have the reincarnation available. You're right. Meanwhile, Sin-Q will push out with some Medusa illusions. It does do a fair bit of damage to that tier 2 tower. ASD will clear them up. Meanwhile, Sylar gonna get spotted out by Faith Beyond. Rolling Thunder will be cancelled off. With that, Sirius look to push in. Perhaps a bit. Though Sylar has to be careful not to get caught out here by White. Meanwhile, Sirius looking at 430 down to the bot lane all by himself. They catch this Medusa out, it'd be pretty darn nice. He doesn't have a TP available, so 430 just force the hide. There will be a Rolling Thunder. Faith Beyond trying to come in and help out. They'll commit the Doom straight on the Medusa, and now Faith Beyond stuck because of the Soulbind. Though he won't mind, he will still find Firefly, and now the roll-in as well. It looks like they will find another in the Doom and the Centaur. ASD coming in, but they still haven't killed off the Medusa. A lot of damage coming out, though ASD will finally find the kill. In fact, it was Sylar who found it, and now the song comes out. He does spot out the Earth Spirit. Sin-Q nowhere to go. Does have the roll. Will roll straight towards the right though. Does cop the ensnare. Now ASD spots him out. But Faith Beyond comes back in. There will be a BKB there from ASD, however. And Faith needs to get the hell out, and he does. But I gotta tell you, John, that didn't really look like great signs coming out from Sirius. I mean, how many heroes went down trying to take down that Medusa?
Yeah, and that entire time didn't even bother showing up. Like, that was a fight entirely without the Wraith King and his damage. And it already does come out a bit wonky for Sirius. They still get the kills they want. Now that net worth lead from EHOME down to 1k. But not a great sign. Definitely not a great sign coming out from them. Again, they did leave Never End there, and he wasn't even in the fight. Now he's going to have a Radiance up, and he's going to be a bit more of a menace and annoyance in the middle of these team fights. That burn going to do a lot of damage on a hero like Wraith King, because he's going to be alive for a pretty long time, at least twice over as well. And it does mean that the right-click damage coming out from Sirius could end up missing as well, so that will take a bit of a cut in their DPS.
Yeah, things will slow down just a bit. 17 to 11 though, 24 minutes into the game. 4:30 looks to be farming up that butterfly next on the Medusa, and again, this is starting to become a real problem for Cyrus. So how are you going to deal with this Medusa once she's got those levels up and once she's got those items completely up? Like, you've still got ASD on that OD job, but somehow it doesn't feel like it's enough.
Do you see a smoke coming out from EHOME as well? Looks like they want to really push somewhere.
Well, 4:30 just breaks it. They are going to roll in, but make it pretty darn obvious that Sirius are around those battering spots, and they found somebody. Yeah, they have. They actually found the Naga Siren.
What? What was he doing there?
I didn't even see him. I thought it was just his illusions. You think his team would back him up as well, but perhaps they just thought, screw it, he has a song, he'll be fine. Apparently not, though. And well, with that, 4:30 jumped straight into that Roshan pit. Without that song available to set up, Sirius can't really defend this. Yeah, this Roshan just going to slowly but surely go down. They are setting up to try and counter this Roche play. They do have a Stampede available to break the distance, but then again, you're going to be going into a Stone Gaze Medusa.
Oh,
looks like the team fight has already started. Never End going straight after Firefly, but gets stunned up. Now Faith Beyond, though, jumps in. Will take care of one kill. Now the Winter's Curse as well. They found the OD. Meanwhile, the Roshan pit, there will be a Stampede, but 4:30, he's not even done with the Roshan yet. Inflame. ASD gonna run in, Sanity's Eclipse as well, though the Aegis is there on 4:30, and now the Stone Gaze. It's gonna be too much damage for Cyrus to put up with. They've lost 3 already. They're gonna lose another in the Pangolier, it seems like. In fact, no, the Doom. He's gonna end up dying here at this top rune spot. A triple kill is there for Never End.
Wow, Faith Beyond actually lived with like 10 HP. The urn, the last tick wasn't enough. Ooh. But that was a great exchange going away with EHOME. Sure, they are forced to buy back on Never End, but he did manage to get 2 kills in there as well. And again, Sirius, their team fight, really not working out. They forced that fight without Sylar in the song as well. And it cost them a lot. They're probably going to lose at least their mid lane tier 2. Maybe even start getting sieged at their tier 3s.
Well, they'll get started. Backdoor protection, though, will be there, and of course, you look down to the bot lane, Sala, he might just force them back with the illusions. It's that infuriating part of the Naga Siren, it's just you've always got to watch out for these waves that are just being pushed in. Sala will go ahead and pick up an Eye of Skadi now as well on the Naga Siren, so getting a lot tankier, but still kind of. When you talk about the impact of the Naga, I mean, we say this every Naga game, but what is the point? It's just a gold sink.
It certainly does feel that way, but if you look at it this way, Mike, it's like the counteraction of Medusa. Like, you see Medusa's itemization, you see
Yeah.
the Naga Siren's itemization, it's almost the same. You have Power Treads, Manta, Scotty. You have the addition of the Diffusal Blade on Sylar, but you're going to have the Butterfly on 430 soon. And I'm not sure if the Naga is going to be able to face off against the Medusa properly. You can certainly drain that mana fast, but in terms of team fighting, in terms of actual combat, I think the Medusa can actually do a bit more depending on where you stand.
I'm fairly sure, John, that she can do a lot more. I would say Naga Siren's like kind of like the useless member of the family when it comes to these water sisters. 430 gonna have a great old time. I mean, even if you want to break the distance up against the Medusa, she's just gonna stone gaze. What are you gonna do? Got Pangolier with the Rolling Thunder in the back. You've got a Winter's Curse available. I mean, I'm not... Silent's doing a great job on the Naga. I'm just personally asking, what the hell's the point of this hero?
On the core role, yeah, it's definitely... Yeah, it's something we always mention, and... You know, it's really one of those heroes that just gets the noggin jogging, at least for me. You know, every time it's picked up, I'm like, why? And it certainly is holding out in this game, but I haven't seen that massive never end.
Yeah, it gets caught out. ASD has the Astral. They have the Doom as well if they want to commit this, but generally you want to wait for at least the second life. Though now Stampede, but the rest of EHOME are coming in as well. Soulbind will be there. No Doom being thrown out quite yet. The Rolling Thunder from Faith Beyond moving in straight onto Firefly. Now a song being committed by Sylar. He wants to go onto Y, though Winter's Curse is available, and he will commit it immediately, as to be expected. Meanwhile, up at the top lane, ASD trying to go after the Earth Spirit. They did find one life on the Wraith King, and now the Sanity's being dropped, but 430 does not care about that. ASD ends up going down. They will find the Centaur as well. And it looks like the Doom does manage to pick up a bounty room, but what does it matter when you do end up losing your life? He did not even throw out the Doom that whole time, by the way. I mean, the Soulbind was there, but he just never threw out the Doom.
He was forced back. He was forced back, and when you don't get that combination off, it's the same thing with a Grimstroke. Like, you have the Soulbind there, you don't get the Doom off, then what was the point of that? What was the point of that? No point. No control. No damage. No utility out. The Grimstroke just dies. It's troubling to me, because that's the key thing in that combination, and they don't land it. They come in staggered as well. You have Sylar walking down that ramp, getting that song off way too late, and it achieves nothing. It just means they can't defend. They don't have that song for the defense.
Well, now the rack's being taken by EHOME, and I give him credit. We thought this game was going to drag out a lot longer, but the first rack's going down 30 minutes. Not too bad. I know it's not over, John. I'm just saying that the timing of the racks are going pretty well.
It is going fairly well. Well, like, EHOME has been really playing their cards perfectly, I want to say. Like, absolute right amount of aggression, great itemization, and great game sense so far. Sirius, I mean, they've had their shining moments, but it's been falling apart lately. Oh, what?
Faith going in by himself, but he does go for the Rolling Thunder TP. He'll be alright. Just wanted to give it to him before he left.
I think he was buying time. That's a really good move from him, just slowing down that chase to ensure everyone else can just kind of safely back off. And again, Sirius now playing from a 1 racks deficit. They still have a lot of room to farm, and of course, Sylar on that Naga Siren is really eating it all up. But they need a little bit more now. They're going to need to finish up the items on the OD.
Again, I ask you what the hell the point of this hero is, John. It's just...
what does she have queued up? It looks like
MK? ASD picks up the side of Vice now, so he's looking pretty good on that OD.
Oh no, we have the MKB up on Sylar.
Oh good.
Yeah, there you go. So that Butterfly not going to be as effective. Even the Radiance is kind of slowed down by that MKB, so Sylar should be able to do a bit more.
But, I mean, John, the problem is he can't break the distance. Now he gets jumped on as well. There will be a Soulbind coming out. They get the stun off, though she will be able to song, though Xingqiu does find the silence. Now the Stampede as well. The roll in, Inkswell is there. Illusion's coming out. Silence still not using the song. He is going to get stunned up completely here by Faith Beyond, and it does go down. He has no buyback. He
Oh,
just
God.
he just used all his gold for that MKB. Now they found ASD as well. ASD, nowhere to go for him. He does get kicked away, but it does not matter. No buyback on him either. Oh my, they lost the Centaur as well.
I mean, they bought out both their items there, and they tap out.
Yep.
My
Good to see that MKB worked out, John. Worked out really well.
I mean, that's just such a bad way to close it out, though, isn't it? Like, you just finish up the items, you get chased out to the wrong spot. Look, the Soulbind was there, the Doom came out, but it was not that double Doom, once again. And it just doesn't work when you do it that way, so... Really good showing from EHOME. Props to them, they actually played really well. It's serious. I expected a bit more from these guys. But unfortunately enough, they do drop down to that lower bracket finals, Mike, which I'm not sure if we have that matchup yet, but congrats to EHOME. They go in straight to the minors, if I'm correct, right? I'm not a total idiot.
You are correct.
Right? Yeah, okay.
I mean, you are a total idiot, but yes, you are correct this time around.
Shut up, Mike.
Well, we don't have the other team that we're waiting on. Currently, it is a 1-1 between Typhoon Esports Club and King Gaming. So we will take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll wait out that series, and I'll try to keep you guys as updated as possible on when the next game is going to start. We have some time, though, John. So do you want to explain to me, do we have the win rate for Naga Shrine? What is the win rate? This is becoming my most hated hero.
You know, I'll go to it, and I believe it's actually higher than you'd expect. It's certainly better than Grimstroke. No, it's better than Grimstroke when I check. I remember thinking, okay, it's one a bit more, but Grimstroke, and this is something I'll always go back to and I'll never let up on. Grimstroke's win rate over 7.21, right? Over around 200 games over the course of all sub-patches, right? It has been around 38%. Let me just verify that, yeah? Okay, Grimstroke and Naga Siren. All right. And let's get that query up. 7.21, patch 7.21. 293 games on that Grimstroke over all of 7.21. 39.59% win rate. 39.59% win rate on the Grimstroke. The Naga Siren, 99 games. This is a bit better, and it makes us look a bit stupid, but 53% win rate in that Naga. 53%, a bit better, but boy, that Grimstroke, like, the best situation is with that Doom. But in that last game, the double Doom came out once. Once. I only remember once, maybe twice, but at that point it actually didn't matter because they were so far behind.
In what games has she achieved a 53% win rate? Like, really?
I don't know. That's what the numbers say. And I have to tell you, when we watch it, it feels like around 30% as well.
30? I mean,
all the games we've casted.
I can't remember the last time I saw her win.
Oh my god, it's just, in our personal experience, right? These heroes just are not great. They just don't pull off what you'd want them to pull off, and it's just rough when you see these heroes time and time and again. Especially the Naga. The Naga just tends to slow a game out as well.
A couple years ago, John, it was Arc Warden versus Tinker. Now it's Medusa versus Naga Siren. It really is sickening. I mean,
look, Mike, even a year ago it was the Naga Siren as well. Don't forget, last year, China. What were the picks around this time of the year? You know, when we were covering, I believe it was DAC, maybe, or something else around that time period. What was it? Gyro Naga Disruptor, Naga Disruptor. And those were really sometimes the Medusa as well, actually.
But it's not But it's not just the Chinese region, Joe John. Everyone's choosing Naga Siren. And I'd really like to understand. I understand it has a 53% win rate. I get it. I want to know how it's winning, though.
Look, I'll narrow my search query for you. All right, let me just check. Okay, so from I tried April 2019 to now. It actually has a 55.74 win rate. It's actually really... It's not as bad. It does seem to win out. It's just, I guess, just bad timing from us. Every time we see it, it just doesn't work out. The entire month of May as well, it's at 55.56 so far. So it is it is kind of working out. That's over 45 games. That's just 25 wins, 20 losses, of course. So it's not as insane as you'd think.
I hope she
But
gets nerfed even more, John. It really is just the worst hero. I mean, anyway.
you have that issue. You have that issue with with the illusion heroes right now, right? There's not much differentiating them so far. Like Naga and PL come into mind. It doesn't feel like either side really specializes in a different aspect of that illusion spam. I think that's the one issue we're facing with those heroes right now. TB still stands on its own, but that's because TB just hits like a truck off the bat.
Well, with that, John, we're going to take a short break. Of course, we are still waiting for the next series. We are waiting for the opponent for the next series, so please do stick around. We will be back with the lower bracket finals in just, I don't want to say just a moment. It's probably going to be a short wait, but, well, we'll keep you updated. Thank you guys for watching. It won't be too much longer, I'm sure.